If this found you and this resonates with you, then you are worth the investment, babe. And trust me, you will regret not getting in on the ground floor of you. Mm, mm. You're a prophet, babe. Mm. What does she mean? Profit, profit? Oh, who knows? But yeah, you're worth the investment. You are the worthiest investment, actually. And everything you invest in you will multiply infinitely. Okay, so if it's your first time seeing me, hi, my name is Sheba, and this is my channel, See Like Sheba. Welcome, and welcome back if you are one of the subscribers or just a casual viewer for right now. I hope you do subscribe though, because I'm gonna, I'm keep getting into it. I keep like learning more and more about myself and how to just share the messages that want to come through me, because I'm just so good at sharing it. So please like and subscribe. And now let's get into it. Okay, babe, 111 as I say that. Perfect timing. All right. Today, we're going to do something I don't usually like to do. It's talk about a white man positively. Okay? And so we're going to talk about a particularly deplorable, gross, terrible white man named Jeffrey Bezos. He famously is started Amazon, which is now a like multi-billion, probably trillion-dollar company, blah, blah, blah. Billionaire, all billionaires are bad and exploitative. But how did he get his start? Okay. He was working as in Wall Street. He was like the VP of some firm. And when he was 30 in 1994, he decided to quit his job and start Amazon. He decided to quit his high-paying Wall Street job when he was 30 years old in 94 in order to start Amazon, okay? And it was created as a result of what Jeff Bezos called his regret minimization framework, to avoid regretting in his old age not having tried to participate in the emerging internet with his own startup. So yeah, the time the internet was just kind of starting, and so it was like the future. It wasn't a sure bet. It was not a sure bet at all. And yet, this 30-year-old white man was like, I don't want to regret later in life not trying, okay, not betting. I think I can do it. And so in 94, he quits his job and he starts Amazon. He incorporates it. A year later, his parents allow him to use their garage to start the business, okay? And then a year later, his parents give him a loan of $250,000, which is about almost $500,000, almost $500,000 in today's money, okay? His parents saw their 30-year-old son, who had just quit his highfalutin Wall Street job in order to invest in his pipe dream of an internet bookstore. What does that even mean? It's like made up language back then. But yet, his parents still thought that he was worthy of the investment. And look, didn't it pay off? Okay, and so he gets in a year after he quits his job and starts Amazon, and in his parents' garage, he gets a $500,000 loan from his parents, and he estimates that it'll be about 4 to 5 years before his company is profitable, okay? And then in 2001, just 6 years later, Amazon finally made its first profit. And apparently, it took that long because the slow path to profitability was due to heavy investment in infrastructure, expansion into new product categories, and the general skepticism surrounding his business model. So no one was investing. Everyone was like, I don't know, man, this sounds crazy. I don't know if it's going to work. But 31-year-old still took this investment, invested it in his business that only he could see, his vision that only he could see, and it paid off. It's infinitely paying off for him now. That small investment he made in himself early on has infinitely paid off. It will continue to pay off, longer than his mortal life. Okay? So why am I talking about this white man? Billy and I recently left our jobs. Well, I mostly left my job. I was getting paid as an attorney working for the US Social Security Administration. Very easy work, very well paying work, but it does cause you to, you have to sacrifice your voice. You're not allowed to talk about, all the horrific things going on, being done to Palestinians, being done to people all over the world by our government, even how we're treating our own, citizens. So anyway, I quit that job because I was like, I'm a queen. What am I doing working as a servant? What am I doing working as a public servant? I must be leaving money on the table. They say like, okay, I have to sacrifice my voice, 40 hours of my week. I have to like prove that I'm there doing their little tasks and things. I'm not going to do that anymore. And so when I decided to quit, I then learned that I had access to almost $500,000 in retirement money between me and Billy. So just like that, when I decided to quit, when I decided to bet on myself, invest in myself, I found the investment money. And unlike Jeff Bezos, it's not a loan. I don't have to pay it back. This money is already mine. It's already mine free and clear. And so following the logic, if we pour that $500,000 investment into ourselves, it's going to pay off. There's no way we won't receive a positive ROI, a positive return on our investment. We're actually going to get an infinite return on our investment. And yeah, so like, not only Jeff Bezos was 31 when he took this risk, when he invested in himself with money that was a loan. I'm 38. Billy's 43. I'm almost 38. Billy's 43. We have the same amount of money to invest in ourselves, but it's free and clear. We don't have to, we're not tied to anything. So how could it not work? How can investing in ourselves not pay off? All right. My mom throughout the past couple of years has said stuff in relation to me, rabble rousing at work about Palestine. She's like, don't lose your job over Palestine. Okay. And after I quit my job, which, by the way, her fears were unfounded. I did not lose my job over Palestine. In fact, my job lost me. I was like, I got to get out of here. My voice is much more valuable than this job. I'm leaving money on the table by staying on this job and sacrificing my voice. And so recently I retired, and my mom learned of that, and she said, she's very concerned, and she hopes that I have savings, and she hopes that I got health insurance. And we have to recognize that most of the practicality that our parents have taught us is really just rooted in fear and scarcity and risk avoidance and lack, not in truth, not in power, not in reality. So most of the practicality that we're taught, it just teaches us to bet against ourselves, right? To sell yourself short, to be like, yeah, you might want this, but no one will ever pay that. So might as well take what you can get, right? So yeah, it teaches you to bet against yourself, sell yourself short, and stay stuck relying on the system, the US government, these systems that are given to us, tradition, rather than betting on yourself. Relying on the system rather than self. And self is also the divine. So it's like, relying on man, rather relying on the divine and self and what you know to be true, your inner knowing. Okay. So yeah, we've been taught that as practicality, babe. But the reality is you already know how to manage your responsibilities. You always get it done. You always have money enough to shelter yourself, to give yourself food, to have leisure, to, Do all the things. You always have what you need when you need it. You already know how to manage your responsibilities, and you do it better when you truly feel good, when you feel well, when you feel safe. You're even better. It's better. You're able to understand, like, really prioritize, like, what actually needs to get done and what is something that someone else maybe wants me to do, but like isn't really necessary. You know how to manage all that responsibility. So this fear, scarcity, lack based practicality advice that we've been given, stay at your job. Don't quit your job until you have something else lined up, Not true. Not good advice. Well-meaning, but not sound, okay? Because the truth is, how much you invest in yourself will multiply infinitely. So any money you invest in yourself, any time you invest in yourself, 11:11 on my timer as I say that, by the way. Okay, any money you invest in yourself, time, attention, care that you invest in yourself, opportunities. Like if you have a child, you would want the best for that child, right? You're like, I'm going to give them the best education. I'm going to give them whatever healing they need. I'm going to give it to them. Whatever leisure activities they want, I want to give that to them. That's an investment. And you think of your child as a worthy investment, right? But we are taught not to see ourselves as a worthy investment. And I'm speaking mostly to, like, I guess, like women, Black people, non-white men, I think. Yeah. And so also another investment that will multiply infinitely is when when someone says, like, I've got a lot of faith in you. My trust is in you. That's an investment. Just like our focus, our attention, is an investment where we pay attention, where we pay our time, where we invest our time, our focus. Our faith, our trust, our grace is also an investment. And we're taught to have all the grace and trust in the world, in white men, in people outside of ourselves, in tradition, in the system, right? But we're taught to have, like, no faith and trust in ourselves. Whatever we think we might want to quit our job and do something that's more aligned, but we're taught not to have trust in ourselves. We're taught not to have faith in ourselves. We're taught to think that that's not a safe bet. Yourself, not a safe bet. But truly, if I know that how much you invest in yourself will multiply infinitely, then why on earth would I not invest the exact same amount that Jeffrey Bezos did in 1994? Why wouldn't I invest that amount in me and Billy? Jeff Bezos was 30 when he got that investment, and he did what he wanted to with it. I'm a 38-year-old attorney. Billy is a 43-year-old sage and philosopher and brilliant thinker. So, like, we're obviously going to do more with more than just Jeff Bezos would. And by, like, I have more than that, his $500,000 investment was a loan. So even, if he started to make profit, he would have to start paying back that loan. I don't have that. Remember, a year and a half ago, my student loans were forgiven. Got no student loan debt. I came into almost $500,000. So we paid off any remaining credit card debt. So now we have this windfall, this, like, I think it's a lot of money to invest in ourselves. And if we pour into ourselves, pour that money, the time, the attention into ourselves and what we want and to our vision, it's going to pay off infinitely. And that's how it's going to be for you too. But you probably keep telling yourself, you want to take this class, but nah, it'll cost too much money. You're saying you're not worth the investment. Or you want to take that vacation or something, you want to relax, you want to get a massage, but no, you don't want to waste that money on you. Oh, you don't think you're worth the investment. I knew that it would be my nightmare to have to drag myself to a job I hate in the morning tomorrow on Monday. I know that like I am worth having this life of luxury where I get to give myself grace and care and attention and healing. And it can't help but pay off. And I would regret not betting on myself. I would get to the end of my life and I would have counted up all the times that I betted against myself. And I told myself, nah, it'll never work. Nah, it works for some people, but it can't be me. I could never do it. I would come up with all the reasons why I couldn't do it. And then I would get to the end of my life and I would be like, maybe that wasn't true. Maybe I was worth the investment. Maybe investing in myself would have paid off. And I don't want that for you, babe. I want you to get to the end of your life and be like, I did it all. Oh my gosh. I'm excited to see what the next thing is going on. What's this death thing? What's this afterlife thing talking about? All right. So, hi, Diva. Hello. Good to see everyone. Thank you. Ooh, Aragorn sounds like he's really afraid. Sounds like he's learned not to bet on himself. Sounds like he's learned he's not worthy of the investment. That's got to be tough. He knows himself more than I do. But me? Anything I say goes. I'm always right. Not to say I'm psychic, but I always get it right. And I'm only 38. I'm not even 38. I keep saying that, but I'm only 37. And I'm, just figuring it out. So it's only going to get better and better. I'm so excited. Oh, this poor guy. Good. Okay, he got out of here. Ugh, the children. How sad, man. And it's tough because it's so misdirected. I think what he really wants is to feel like his words matter, to be able to be brave enough to bet on himself, to turn on the camera and speak his thoughts, share his perspective. But he's too shy. He's too scared. He probably doesn't think he can do it. And he's probably right. So, ooh, okay, my nails on camera. Here we go. Okay. Can you see these? They are Mayan jade, like amulets, talismans. So it's like, you see this like kind of like face and these things. And yeah, that's what that is. Going to Mexico soon, going to where there's some Mayan ruins. So, and I love jade. It was, it's a very like auspicious, lucky, valued stone in ancient times. And it's just so beautiful and lush. Thank you so much, Prakash. Coat your nails. I don't know what you mean, Ken, but that's all right. I'm so glad you guys could join me, okay? Think about what I said, babe. You're worth the investment. What's something that you want? Is it new clothes, maybe? You're worth it. Is it like, do you want to take a long bath? Do you want to like turn off your phone for a day? You're worth it. You deserve the peace and quiet. You're worth the investment in yourself. They don't want us to think that. But the people here who really resonate, they know better. Yeah. All right. So if you made it this far, don't worry about it, Ken. Give me a, what's like a bet? Is there some sort of a gambling thing? I don't know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up like Prakash. Yes, perfect. Prakash, I am from the United States. Yeah. Baltimore. Beautiful town. Where John Waters is from. And also Jada Pinkett Smith. And Tupac. And Edgar Allan Poe died in the gutter here. So... don't mean to brag, but yeah. But yeah, so anyway, oh, also another cool thing about Maryland, which is where Baltimore is, it is a beautiful state. It's an awesome state, and it is where Harriet Tubman was from and Luigi Mangione. So, and Sheba. So, yeah. Anyway, I love you guys. Bring your forehead up against the screen, okay? I'm going to get up out of here, but let me send you off with a blessing, okay? I love you so freaking much. And this is all made up, right? So only you make up your value, babe. Only you determine whether or not you are a worthy investment. You determine what's a worthy investment. So, you should make it yourself. Yeah. All right. Well, I love you so much. Give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe. And yeah, thanks to all the new subscribers. Love you guys so much. Can't wait to meet all the new ones. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Later, babes. Salam.